Let's talk about the steps that every beginner should make for them to be fluent in Russian in the quickest way possible. A shortcut to fluency, what to do as your first steps. At each point, we're gonna have 8 of them today. You have a video pop up somewhere around me that you can watch as well on YouTube. But if you need a more careful attention to your studies, then join BFluent Camp. We are starting our camp soon. You can click the first link and see the next start date. It's our 8-week intensive course for all beginners to learn all the basics, and I'll be there with you side by side, helping you answering your questions and helping you with your Russian. That's going to be even faster than learning it all by yourself. So if you want a bit of help, BFluent Camp is for you. Now let's get into this topic. Number 1, learn the Cyrillic alphabet. The Russian alphabet is just simply 33 letters that you need to learn to be able to read. A lot of learners make a mistake in not learning the alphabet and learning how to type with English letters by typing the Russian words. That's a mistake. Huge mistake, because you need to learn how to read for you to read the text, read the messages, type the messages, get comfortable with the spelling. Spelling in Russian is a huge topic, and it really helps you a lot if you learn it early, because later on you will learn about the different parts of a word. Let's say you read this word right here, выиграла. If you don't know how to spell it, then it's going to be hard for you to realize that вы is a prefix. It's a common pattern for beginning of the word. This la at the end is a pattern for past tense feminine words. So you are losing a lot of this information if you don't know how to read the Russian alphabet. Number 2, my favorite, start learning A1 level words. As soon as you're finished with the alphabet, so step number 1 is alphabet. Then start simultaneously with these next steps that we're going to have, start learning A1 level vocabulary. Do it simultaneously, because some other topics, they're going to be grammatical topics. It's easier, it's quicker to learn them. But vocabulary requires time, because your memory requires time. You are building that connection with individual words. So start learning the A1 level words simultaneously in parallel with these next topics. The importance of A1 level vocabulary. A1 level is about 800 plus words. It's a lot, but they cover about 90 to 95% of Russian conversations, especially the more basic ones. Give me this, hey, how are you doing? It's on the left side. Things like super simple conversations are covered with A1 level vocabulary. Start learning the words, because then you're going to be using them in the conversation. Number 3, again, in parallel with the A1 level words, is master basic greetings, like привет, как дела, etc. You master those basic conversational things because it unlocks a conversation with natives. It allows for you to travel to a Russian-speaking country and greet people, say hi to them and things like that. You are already learning the first step of a conversation. The conversation doesn't start with a question, how are you? Right? It starts with, hello, how are you? So you learn the first step first. Of course, it's kind of intuitive. Next, you learn how to introduce yourself. It's the second step of a conversation. You saying how to say your name, how to ask them for their name. That's step number 4. It's all vocabulary topics. We're not getting into grammar just yet, but those are major topics that you should prioritize before any other words. It doesn't make sense for you to learn words like beautiful, smart, kind, before knowing how to introduce yourself. Then step number 5 is learn simple verbs. Verbs in Russian carry the most meaning. They're the richest. Sometimes we even have one-word sentences that are just verbs. So learn verbs like я хочу, I want, я люблю, I love, мне нравится, I like, things like that. Verbs carry the most meaning in Russian. Next, step number 6. Learn essential questions. Just think about all the situations that you're going to be in the Russian language. Let's say you're at a restaurant and you want to know where the restroom is. So you learn a question, где у вас туалет? Where is the restroom? Maybe you are going somewhere, you can learn how to say как дойти до метро? How do I get to the metro? Things like that. Of course, for the most part, you're going to have your phone, directions, all of that. But just in case, you'll learn those crucial questions. Maybe learn a question, сколько это стоит? How much is this? For any market interactions. Step number 6, learn essential questions in Russian. Step number 7, learn common expressions of being polite. Like спасибо, thank you, пожалуйста, you're welcome. Maybe some other one, можете, can you? Things like that. So you find a list of all the politeness expressions and learn them. Because again, you need to first learn the first layer of interactions with strangers. And with strangers, you don't want to come across as rude or mean. Especially consider this. In the Russian language, we have a distinction between formal and informal speech, which we don't have in English. So if you're coming at a person that you don't know with an informal language, they might take that as an offense. So you need to learn the polite language too, as our step number 7. And step number 8, finally, it's the grammar rules. 4 grammar rules that I have for you for beginners are conjugation for verbs. Again, if you remember, verbs carry the most meaning. And the conjugation is what changes at the end of the word. Like, for example, играть, to play, я играю. You see this you at the end? That's conjugation. It carries the most meaning while not being the most difficult topic in Russian grammar. Next, you learn past tense and future tense grammar rules. How do you form a verb to mean something that happened in the past tense? Like again, играть, to play, я играл, I played. With the simple change of the ending, now you know how to talk about the past. Same for the future tense, which is going to be a bit more complicated, but that's going to be your rule that you learn. And learn the basics of cases. Cases, you do not need to learn them in their entirety. For you to master cases will take like hundreds of hours. Learn the basics of them so you can know the logic of them that you will later on learn and expand upon and master. Cases is how words change. You might have noticed that a lot of Russian nouns change their endings a whole lot. That's because of cases. So you learn a bit of the introduction to them, so you're not going to be scared of the ever-changing Russian words. And that's going to be it. For a beginner, that's more than enough. Later on, through grammar, you will learn other things because you're going to need to express yourself with other topics and things like that. But for a beginner, that's going to be more than enough. Again, if you don't want to think for yourself and you want a guided learning for all beginners for 8 weeks, then join BeFluent Camp with this button right here. We have an 8-week intensive course where the curriculum and all the tasks are already laid out with all the exercises, with all the practice, with feedback from me, etc. So you will have a helping hand throughout your first steps of Russian. And if your foundation is solid, it's going to be way easier to make future progress too. So check us out with this button right here. We are starting very soon.